Fear is the most dominant emotion. It is so deeply rooted within many of us that we live in a world of lack. We live in fight or flight mode daily. We focus so much on all the things that go wrong rather than focusing on the curiosity of the things that can go right. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Zandra's Life. I am so excited to have you guys back in another video. I am so excited to spend this quality time with you guys. Time is everything for me, and I'm happy that I'm sharing it with you. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Be sure to go ahead and click the bell so that you can get notified whenever I upload a new video. Hey to all my new subbies, thanks for subbing, continuing to watch my video, supporting me by commenting. That means so much to me, and I really genuinely appreciate you taking the time to do that. And so now on into the video. In this video, I want to talk about fear, and I want to talk about how it creates blockage for us, where some of that fear may be coming from, why it's creating the blockage, and how to move forward by giving you one of my primary tips that I used in order to overcome many of the blockage and fears that I've had throughout my life. Fear is just such a deeply rooted emotion. In fact, it is probably the biggest emotion that we have. And so we can all identify with when you're fearful of something, it takes over your entire system. It affects every part of your system. You can feel it not only mentally, but you can start feeling those effects physically as well. So I want you all to start thinking about what you do when you are fearful of something. How do you scan your body? How do you scan your mind, body, soul within that moment? So that's something that I do every single day. I'm always thinking of and being very proactive and trying to understand where my fears lie. So a lot of our fears are most of the time attached to some type of trauma that's either happened to us, some subconscious belief, or just a fear that we've created kind of over time. But let's talk about more real life fears, like fear of money, fear of accomplishing goals, things of that nature. Let's get a little bit deeper about that. So the number one thing that I think about when it comes to fear is that we're not living. You truly are not living. You're not living your best life, okay? The famous saying, everybody's like, ooh, live your best life. But if you're so afraid constantly, if you have the mindset, which fear truly is having a lack mindset. So if you have the mindset that's, I really want to make $1 million, but how am I going to do that? I only make $40K a year right now. So how am I going to get from $40K to $1 million? Okay. Now, the thing about that is so many of us now, entrepreneurship is really a push. It is really a big deal. A lot of us are stepping out on faith. A lot of us are moving forward into our dreams and goals and trying to accomplish the life that we want to live. We want to travel. We want to explore the world. We want to live financially free. But many times we block ourselves. Many of us are so afraid of being able to grow. We're so terrified of growth. Growth ties to many things. Growth ties to starting a business. Growth ties to finding a spouse. Growth ties to traveling by yourself, going on dates by yourself. We are so afraid to grow. We are so afraid to explore the curiosity of the unknown. And if we continue doing that, we truly are dying. We are no longer living. We are living in a world to where we now have set up certain parameters and barriers around ourselves. We don't even need external barriers because we've barricaded ourselves in because we're so afraid. We're so terrified to grow. That is growth at its finest. So I challenge you to start thinking about how you're going to eliminate those fears, all right? And so what those fears can look like is wanting to make more money, as I stated earlier in this video, but feeling like you aren't equipped to necessarily get to that money. You don't have the skills. A lot of people are saying, I'm not tech savvy. I don't know how to explore the internet. I don't know how to find my niche. I don't know what type of business to start. Well, the resources are unlimited, and you have to tell yourself that. My resources are unlimited every single morning, all throughout the day. You have to mentally believe that you are capable of exploring and finding out every single resource that you need in order to accomplish your goals. It is the biggest barrier that we create for ourselves. I know a lot of you are really into the law of attraction and believing that you can attract whatever it is that you want into your life. And I too believe that. But I think there's a step before we can actually get there. The reason why a lot of the quantum jumping isn't working for so many people, and journaling isn't working for so many people, and a lot of the tips and tricks of The Secret isn't working for so many people, it's because you have not cleared your subconscious, which I talk about a lot in my videos. It's because you haven't taken the time to really remove those mental blockages. If your mind is set in a mode of lack, none of those tips and tricks will work for you. If your subconscious isn't cleared, none of those tips and tricks will work for you. Simple. That's it. So what are you afraid of exactly? Start thinking back to your childhood. Start exploring what exactly that looks like. What does that mean to you? Where did this fear stem from? When I was a little girl, I remembered a lot, and especially I feel like in a lot of Caribbean households and probably in other households as well, but one of the primary sayings I would hear is money don't grow on trees, okay? Like, it just don't. Okay, we know that. But it's more of a mental thing, because when you really swallow that, it creates the idea that money isn't easily accessible to me. I posted that on my Facebook the other day, like, wow, some people really think that money grows on trees. Bloop. But it doesn't, okay? But the truth is, afterwards, I started thinking like, whoa, okay, I don't want to put that out into the universe. I don't want to put the idea out that money isn't easily accessible to me, because it is easily accessible. Money is simply energy that we attract, and that's it. That's it. You put that energy out, you let your creativity flow, and the money is going to come for whatever it is that you desire. And I wholeheartedly believe that. It's been tested, tried, and true for me every single time, okay? What about the fear that you can't be successful? Someone told you when you were a child, this is what you can do, and they put limits on you. We got to be so mindful and so careful of our limiting beliefs. We have to be so understanding of what's limiting us. How are we limiting ourselves? And who have limited us in a point in our life, at some point throughout our lives, that have now transpired, like just transferred over into where we are currently. It's transferred over into the life that we are trying to live currently. So when it comes to fear, I want you guys to really, as I said, scan your body. Really start thinking about what's holding me back. What am I so afraid of? Where's this fear coming from? Because once you get to the root cause of it, you get to the root cause of that emotion, you now know how to navigate around it. You now know how to eliminate it. One of the biggest things I had to do to overcome that fear was truly focusing on being thankful and showing gratitude toward the fear that presented itself in my life. I have always been a very optimistic person. I've always been very excited. When I started my business, I said, oh, it's going to be successful. But every time I would hit a new milestone, I would be absolutely terrified. And although being a little fearful is natural, it's a natural response, it's something new that you're guiding yourself into. The truth is, I have to be very, very cognizant of my fear belief system. I have to start noticing how it's shaping the dimensions within myself, because if I let that fear linger long enough, I won't move. I will become stagnant. Fear absolutely triggers many different emotions, mentally and physically. It truly can. And it will create stagnation. It will put you in a box to where you will never grow. You will never live. You will never move forward. You will never accomplish. So the biggest thing that I had to do for myself was say, I am going to be thankful of the failures that are coming with the fear that I am assigning to myself. You are assigning that fear to yourself the more that you hold on to that mindset. The longer you hold on to that lack mindset, you are assigning that emotion to your being. So in order to remove that, I had to go ahead and say, you know what? I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for the fact that I was afraid, and my fear caused this failure to happen because I assigned this to myself. It is a learning moment. We are constantly learning. You are constantly teaching yourself. You are constantly learning from yourself and others and being taught by others. Be open to the factor that this is a time for growth. This is a time for growth. It is time for you to acknowledge that you are assigning these emotions to yourself, and you have to grow past them in order to be successful. If you want it, it is accessible to you. It's only accessible if you allow it to be. So you have to remove that assignment of fear. So with that, I want to leave you guys on this note, and I want to encourage you to be thankful for the failure, to turn around and say, you know what? I know that I failed. I know that I was fearful, but this created growth. And by it creating growth, it opened opportunities for creativity. And by it opening opportunities for creativity, it opened the whole curiosity bubble, if you will. And by you being curious, you are now eliminating fear and moving forward and learning how to process throughout life and accomplish all of those dreams and goals that you have set out for yourself. Thanks for tuning in. Again, subscribe. Make sure that you click the bell so that you can be notified of all my new videos. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.